Donald Trump decides to threaten a judge's daughter. Here it is.
The New York judge in Donald Trump's upcoming hush money trial has made it crystal clear this week that he is not in the mood for any games from the former president or his legal team, banning Trump from attacking prosecutors, witnesses, and jurors. So Trump has found someone new to attack, Judge Juan Merchan's daughter. In a new post tonight, he calls her out by name. Trump goes after her as a, quote, rabid Trump hater because she's done work for Democratic campaigns in the past. He didn't stop there. He also accused her of posting a picture of him behind bars, which Trump says, quote, makes it completely impossible for me to get a fair trial. I should note, however, that is apparently not true. And the New York State court system says that long ago, Judge Merchan's daughter abandoned that Twitter account and that it's also not linked to her email. Even so, she's a private citizen. She's not party to this case. I should note that the gag order that the judge did put in place earlier this week doesn't apply to himself nor to his family.
Okay, so what do we have here? The judge says, I'm laying out the ground rules. You will not manipulate this proceeding like you have done with other judges. You will not attack prosecutors. You will not intimidate witnesses. In other words, the other judges you have been in front of before, they may have allowed you to get away with these things, but I will not. So he's setting the ground rules. Trump decides, like a 3-year-old, to push the boundaries of everything but what was ordered not to. It is one of the most immature and childish moves you can imagine. Okay, so you can't go left and right. So Trump says, well, I will just go up and down and see what your response is to that. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Another federal judge decided to opine in a rare interview on CNN. Here it is.
Well, it's very disconcerting to have someone making comments about a judge, and it's particularly problematic when those comments are in the form of a threat, especially if they're directed at one's family. I mean, we do these jobs because we're committed to the rule of law and we believe in the rule of law, and the rule of law can only function effectively when we have judges who are prepared to carry out their duties without the threat of potential physical harm.
And you know personally, I mean, what this is like. Someone threatened your daughter once as well.
Yes, threatened me one day, and then the next day called and made a threat against my daughter, and also had indicated my address. So they obviously had done some research to find out that I had a daughter and what her name was, and also where I live.
I mean, what's that even? That must be terrifying.
Well, it is, but you kind of have to appreciate that you can't let that impact on how you live your life and how you treat litigants who are before you, because even though threats may be made against you and against your family, you still have an obligation to ensure that everybody who comes into your courtroom is treated fairly, regardless of who they are or what they've done.
That's Judge Reggie Walton, better man than me, Judge. If someone was in front of me who threatened my daughter, and I was the presiding judge, I got some get back for them. But you all are more fair and judicious than I would ever be. Why is Trump doing this? Why are we here? You see, this is a tapestry of missed opportunities. This is a cause and effect of deciding to basically tap dance around the real issue. Let's go back to the US Supreme Court, who basically ruled that Trump can remain an insurrectionist by the standards of the Colorado court. And Colorado has no choice but to allow the insurrectionist to run for president. That set the reciprocation rule in for every other state. Trump is no longer afraid. What does he have to be afraid of? You're not going to be able to fully adjudicate top to bottom, according to him, before the election is final. If you attempt to, his lawyers will engage in duck, dodge, deny, deflect like they've done in the Fulton County case with Fonnie Willis, effectively putting the elected DA on trial. Do you realize the elected DA has given more testimony than the defendants in the Trump case? How is this possible? They are exploiting the system to buy time, to kick the can down the road. And the road is not very long because we're looking at November. Trump believes that in November, no matter what happens, all will be settled. Why? Because people like Charlie Kirk and others are saying if Trump doesn't win, not if somebody steals the election, not if there's an overthrow of democracy, not if the voters are not heard, but if Trump does not win, be ready to fight. You see, Trump has already proven that he can gather a group of individuals to do a test run to overthrow the government and potentially hang the then Vice President of the United States. Donald Trump has already proven that he is de facto the leader of half of the states in this country by telling governors, Republican governors, what to do about the border. He is in control of the Congress by telling members of Congress, the Republicans, do not sign a bipartisan bill before I become president again. And all of them, without him having an ounce of government power, all of them adhered to his demands. This is why we are here. So he is emboldened to now threaten the very children of federal judges. His cronies will say nothing. They are feckless leaders. Those who support him, who would not stand by and allow, let's say, a Joe Biden, President Biden, do the same to another judge, will sit by and allow this to happen from Donald Trump. This is their cult leader. He is able to do what no one else can. All right, Mayor Mondale, thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is just a continuation of the right showing us that they no longer have a spine or a moral code or compass. Donald Trump pushed God like it's a product, like it's his old musty steaks. And in this case, he can threaten daughters, and people think this is a small thing, but it's not. We saw people, the FBI had to step in and stop some of Trump supporters who were about to kidnap the governor of Michigan in real life. I'm currently not able to spend nights in my house because of threats from the KKK in this world in 2024. So these words of politicians, and Trump know his followers, like you said, cult members will do whatever he say. Literally are doing more than sounding dog whistles when he show up in this manner, and people pretending that this does not have an effect. And I appreciate the judge's comments on CNN, but I can't say that as a person who is currently facing threats, death threats, and also in elected office. It definitely affects how I live. So when he said you can't allow it to affect you, you have to if you are human. And it's not human to expect people not to be affected by death threats to their loved ones. And we know what this means. The mob used to do this, and Donald Trump is no different in his behavior at this point.
100%. Obviously, there will be updates as the trial draws near. We will bring those updates to you.